guys, welcome to Woken Pretty. It's your girl Meera and Min.
Yeah.
And we are here today for my favorite time of the week. Guys, it's my favorite, so we do it twice a week. It's Am I the A-hole? I got this really good one for you guys. It's not triggering. It's not triggering.
So she says.
Okay, maybe it's triggering for some people because I don't know. You tell me. If it's triggering, I'm sorry, but I think it's like a really short, cute one, but also we can go a lot of places with this one. So you ready?
Ready.
Am I the a-hole for singing a song to my wife at our wedding and making her angry? Okay.
What did you sing?
Okay, wait a minute. There's
Okay,
more.
wait. Hold on. Before we dive in too deep, how much do you want to bet he sang the song from Barbie Girl? I want to push you, or from the Barbie movie. I want to push you around with like 10 sings.
This was a year ago.
Okay, so never mind.
So
How,
no.
but how funny would that have been?
I mean, I wanna. What song did he sing?
He sings "I Want to Push You Around."
The Champa Wampa song? Is it Champa Wampa?
It's Third Eye Blind, I think.
Oh yeah, I wanna push you. Oh God. Okay, I just got married last week. My wife and I are both in our 30s. I am Mexican, she is American, but we both grew up in the US and both our families know both languages. My wife planned every bit of the wedding and was a very controlling and nervous bride, but all right, I get that she was stressed. During the reception, I went to the band and asked them to play a song for me to sing to my new wife. It was Te Amare by Miguel Bos. It was a song from our first date in a really bad Mexican restaurant, so it became a long-standing joke between us. The guests really loved the song. My mother-in-law cried and told me it was beautiful, but my bride seemed upset. I asked her what's wrong, and she said that I'm an a-hole for taking the spotlight to enforce my ethnicity and not just let the band sing our song for us. Am I the a-hole? You go.
I don't know. I think it was sweet. I'm also one who really embraced her culture, mostly probably because a lot of my childhood was oppressing my culture.
Oh, this
I
is
don't know
his
how he
edit.
kicked it off.
This is the edit. I sang our
Okay.
song in Spanish instead of letting the band sing it in English.
To me, it's how he kicked it off. I guess she was controlling or
It was
whatever.
probably his reflection on why she would be upset because she didn't control that part of it. But I do think that was a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I think he's a douche.
You think if your husband
I think it would be
decided at
adorable.
your wedding to sing a song dedicated to you, and it's a song that is a long-standing joke between you two, and you would get mad? I don't think I would get mad. I think I would roll my eyes and be
For
like,
sure. And I'd probably laugh about it a little bit.
yeah. And then I'd be like, oh my God, that was silly. Even if he was a bad singer, I'd be like, oh my God, that was atrocious, but ha, because it's a long-standing joke. Also, it's my husband. If he decided to go sing me something at a wedding, it's your right. It's your wedding.
Yeah.
So why is she upset? I think the weird thing about this story is that he said that he is an a-hole for taking the spotlight to enforce his ethnicity. That's the part that I have a problem with.
Yeah, I don't like that part either.
What does that mean? You just said, wait,
I thought
you're
they were
marrying
both
a Mexican
Spanish.
person.
Okay, she's American, but he doesn't really say that she's Mexican American.
No, he just said that she speaks the language and so does her family. I just don't understand what's happening here. Why is she
You
so
can't
mad?
mix two cultures if you aren't willing to be open.
Oh, 100%. So her saying he took the spotlight to enforce his ethnicity?
Yeah, I don't understand what she's mad about. I'm confused.
Exactly. I don't think he's an asshole. I think it's his wedding and he thought it was something sweet that she would appreciate. And I think I think he probably said that she was a little bit controlling at the wedding and upset because he wanted to say that's probably the reason because she didn't get to control that aspect and he took that control away from her by doing something spontaneous. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. Her accusation is just weird. Why is ethnicity even like a thought in your mind at your wedding? That's the question I have. And what happens when you have kids, honey? What do you mean enforce the ethnicity? If you're having Mexican kids.
Which means you'll probably be eating Mexican food and listening to Mexican music and having a quinceañera for your children. Again, if
Does
you
she
can't embrace other
ignore?
people's cultures, you shouldn't be with somebody.
Bro,
And that's
yo,
okay. I'm gonna understand that.
but she didn't even say anything about the significance of the song. That's a problem. If it's a long-standing joke, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
I don't think he's a douche.
I'm
I don't like
triggered.
how he opened it. But I definitely don't think she, like, the part that triggered me was the part at the beginning. I don't know why he needed to say all those things, in my opinion.
I think it's
But
his explanation for why she's upset. I really do.
because she was controlling.
Because she didn't get to control that, he took the control away from her.
Oh, well, I feel like they're both in the wrong here. I don't think there was a winner.
No, I'm not saying he's not a jerk for thinking that, but I think the fact that she reduced it to a comment means she might be like low-key racist slash not low-key.
Yeah.
Does she have an issue with your Mexican heritage? Does she have an issue with Mexicans in general? Does she pretend because you grew up here, you're not really Mexican, or you're Mexican, but you're more American, so it's okay? Like, why is that? Why was that the comment back? If that happened to me, if I did something to honor Greg and he said, oh, like, why are you enforcing your ethnicity? I would probably divorce him. I'm not even lying, especially if it was that early on. That would be an annulment for me because we're going to have problems because I can't change my ethnicity and nor do I want to.
Hmm.
I don't hate myself. I don't hate myself.
Again, you have to be willing to embrace other people's ethnicities and other people's cultures and if you're going to date someone outside of your own race, then you need to understand where they're coming from too.
Yeah. I think what we're both saying is that she's clearly uncomfortable with the ethnicity conversation or ethnicity part of him.
This literally reminds me of Ali Wong's book that she writes. I think it's called For My Girls or something. But in the book, she literally is date a Chinese man. And she said, I know that those aren't the words that like society wants to hear or you want to hear, but it is much easier to sit at a table where you don't have to explain why you're eating chicken feet. Yeah. And those things, like in those moments, I was like, yeah, sometimes it can be very exhausting dating someone who doesn't understand your culture.
Yeah,
Why
and
do
we've
you
talked
wear
about
red to
this.
Chinese New Year? Because that is how it is.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like
hard.
my husband does not like Caribbean food as much anymore because he's had it so much, but also to him, I realize he now has that thing where cilantro is like tastes like dish soap to him because we had a pizza and it had a lot of
Parsley
cilantro
tastes like
in
dish
it.
soap.
Well, you guys are of that weird percentage of the population that has that feeling, and other people think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. But we had a slice of pizza and it had a lot of cilantro in it, and he was like, "Oh, this tastes like this," and he said dish soap, and I said, "Oh my god, I have a friend that has that," and so he was like, "That's not a thing." He looked it up and he goes, "Oh my god, it is a thing," and I was like, "This explains why you don't like my mom's cooking as much because she puts cilantro in everything. It's in her seasoning. The seasoning has cilantro, so all the chicken, all of this, everything has that seasoning." It makes so much sense. And he was like, I've never thought about it that way because I don't think it tastes like dish soap. I just don't like it as much. And I was like, because low key, there's a flavor you don't like and you think it's the flavor of Caribbean food. And it's not. Not everyone does that. Anyway, my point is, I think that was a weird ass comment of her to make at her wedding.
Yeah.
Race should not come up, period, between the two of you. So he
You
might be
should
one of those
discuss this already.
Mexicans that there's some Mexicans that look white and stuff. So maybe she in her mind forgets it. But for her to make that comment, nah, girl.
No.
It's a wrap for me.
No.
He is not the a-hole and he is married to a racist. I said it. I said it. I said I don't like it, but I said it.
Do you laugh sometimes when you have to explain things to Greg?
I don't have to explain much to him.
We recently went to go get boba.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to explain what boba was. And he had the weirdest look on his face. He didn't like it.
Oh, you mean what it was like okay.
The tapioca.
Yeah.
He took a sip and he was like super confused as to what was going on in his mouth.
I remember my first bubble tea and I was just like, "Ooh, I don't know what this is." Ooh, ooh. And I was like, but I like it. Yeah. I'm like, I know it wasn't meat, so I was good.
Yeah, he didn't like any of it, but which was funny, but I still found it like super hilarious.
Okay. I don't know if this is going to trigger you, Mom, Min.
Oh.
Let me read it first. Let me read it first because, okay, we're going to do one more because I love this shit so much. I do, guys. what is it about? If I could just read people's stories and just give my commentary, yo,
You know what
that'd
we
be a
should
happy
do?
day.
You know what we should
What?
do? One of our episodes should totally be, do you remember missed connections on
From
Craigslist?
Craigslist? I used to read that drinking coffee. That was so,
Oh,
I was like, ooh, what's in
episode on
wait,
missed connections.
wait, can I tell you something about that? I'm pretty sure somebody wrote about me one time. Because I remember it was when I was in my 20s. Oh God. Okay, I was in my 20s.
Uh-huh.
I always read the New York ones, right? Like the New York City
Of
ones. I lived in
course.
Manhattan, I was in the city, whatever. And like I remembered this exact thing and the person wrote it. And I think I stopped reading it after that. I'm pretty sure I stopped reading it after that because it got creepy. Because I'm pretty sure it was about me. Because the person described what I was wearing and everything. And I was like, yes, I was that. It was just like that realization. I was like, wait, wait. And I showed it to my friend who lived.
I feel like it'd be like good news because you're like, oh, somebody noticed me. And then you're like, wait, somebody noticed.
The guy had a thing, wanted to, oh, if it was you, I'd love to talk to you, whatever. Meanwhile, get out of here. You should have just talked to me then. I would have said no anyway. But if listen, don't come up to me
Okay.
in the city. I ain't talking to you. But
We need to do a misconnections episode.
fine.
That's all I'm saying. Because I love this.
Wait, does that
already.
still exist?
I hope so. We're gonna have to find
Oh
out.
God, it's so good.
That'll
It's
be our
so
homework.
good. Okay, you're in for it. You're in for it. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law I want to F her son? Okay. Sorry, for those of you who are listening to our podcast, I made a motion. I'd like you to go on YouTube and look at my motion, and you will see why Min stopped and why I laughed. Okay. So this is a 28-year-old female and her husband who's 31. Okay. So my husband had to spend 2 months in a different state for work. He came back 9 days ago. I'm obviously thrilled he's back and I've missed him a lot. I was hoping we would be able to spend some time together, just the two of us. However, his mom came over when he was supposed to come home. I was slightly annoyed, but I know she was just excited to have her son back. However, she never left. I was prepared to deal with her being there for a day or two, but not 9 days. Because she's here for 9 days, we haven't had a second of time together. She insists on staying here instead of a hotel. For the record, she lives an hour away. An hour? Honey,
Go
my mom
home.
tries
Go
a little
home.
more than that to come and babysit my son for a few hours or for dinner. Okay, anyway. The guest room is right next to ours and the walls are thin. When the two of us go out, she comes with us or makes one of us stay with her because otherwise we would be bad hosts. She follows us around the house constantly. We want to cuddle and watch movies, and she's sitting in the armchair. We want to go to a romantic restaurant, but we better make it a table for three. We eat. We have even left her in the living room to go chat in our room, and she follows us. Earlier today, I just asked her to leave. Even though both of us have been hinting that she needs to go, she kept saying she wasn't ready to go yet and wanted more time with her son. I tried telling her we wanted some alone time, but she kept insisting that she join us. Finally, I snapped and said, since you seem to be oblivious, I will put this bluntly. I want to F your son. She says the word, but I'm not going to say it, obviously. If you don't want to see or hear, then you need to leave. Ooh. I know this isn't the classiest response ever, but I was very frustrated. Anyway, she yelled at me, but eventually left. We finally got to have our alone time, but now she is blowing up both of our phones. She is saying that I am disgusting and have no respect for her son or myself. She keeps telling my husband that he shouldn't be with someone so crude, and how dare he let me speak to her like that. I'm sure you get the idea. I know that what I said was really inappropriate. So am I the a-hole? Ooh.
I'm gonna say no.
Her edit. I don't think she is
Oh,
either. Edit. After reading these comments, I will definitely let my husband know he needs to step up. I agree that it should have been him who made her leave. I
yeah.
love him to death and want to be accommodating to his fear of making her angry. She's nasty when she's angry and will turn his whole family against him. However, he needs to set boundaries. Oh, yes. I'm glad you took that away from this because I was going to say she shouldn't have been the one to say it.
Mhm.
Honestly, though, I'm going to be honest. When I got frustrated, I probably would have just banged my husband and let her hear it.
I am with you.
And I probably would have been louder on purpose. Leave. Like, this is what we do. You did this with your husband, that you have a kid. They obviously don't have kids.
Obviously know what it's about.
Do you
It's
want a
not like you
grandkid?
don't know,
Do
right?
you want a grandkid? Why? I have a question here though. Why is she dragging her feet? She's only an hour away and she's staying over this whole time. What's
That's
happening?
what I said. Just get up and leave.
What's going on? Something's going on with her. Something's going on with her. What's going on with her? She's sick?
I don't know.
Is there something she needs to say?
I have a thing with if you're gonna visit like in-laws, you both need to, or your in-laws visiting you, you both need to come to some kind of an agreement as to how long they can stay.
How long is too long?
In general.
How long is too
days.
long?
I can only handle my mother for 3 days. After 3 days, she needs to GTFO. I love her, but 3 days is already too long.
I've had his family over for almost a week, his mom, and I don't mind it. I don't. But come on. That, like, how is she? The fact that she's disparaging her and calling her crude and all that stuff, it makes me wonder how long they've been together. Has she approved of her before? What's happening? I guess she could have said it a little differently, but her husband also could have stepped up. She's an hour away. An hour is nothing. Go the hell home and come back tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That, you know what I would do? My next place would not have a guest room.
This just reminds me.
She's too comfortable. She's too comfortable.
Did you ever watch Everybody Loves Raymond?
I don't like that show.
Okay.
I don't like how he treats his wife.
Yeah, hold on. I didn't love it either, and I'm with you. Except there is an episode in the show where they look back at them living in this tiny little apartment, and she's pregnant with the twins, and his mom and his dad are telling her, oh my God, the house across the street from us has just come up for sale. And she's like, you're gonna love it. Us moving across from your parents, it's gonna be so much easier. I'll have help. The twins, the kids.
He said that to him?
She's telling Raymond this, yes. And Raymond, listen, and he pulls out a map and he's, listen, this is within an hour of my parents visiting. This is within 30-minute drive. And like, he's literally like, we want the golden area is this area because then they can come, but they can still leave. And those like I think as an adult, when you're looking at that, you're like, I get what you're trying to do there, because I couldn't imagine having my in-laws or my mother-in-law be there for, oh my God, a week. That seems even a little too long.
There is a house across in front of my house that is for sale forever. And I keep thinking like, oh, if my mom was there, it'd be so much easier. But then I keep thinking, because Greg's rule is your mom cannot come. She has to live at least 20 minutes away. And I'm just like, why? My mom would never come over. I would probably go to her more, actually, is what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, but like 20 minutes is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand where he's coming from. At first I didn't, because my family is like all on top of each other. But honestly, I do understand now. Here's what one reader wrote in. She's been looking for an excuse to bash your wife forever and finally got the opportunity because of the crassness, but she was wrong. Honestly, if she spent one overnight and a day during the day and then went home and came the first day he got back, I think it would have been pushing it. But okay, truly, a woman needs time with his spouse. Oh, but truly, woman, he needs time with his spouse. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of it because it's a little crude. But yeah, frankly, your husband should have dealt with his mom from day one. But since he seems incapable of standing up to his mother, you're not the a-hole. But I'd address this with him. Make sure you have a plan in the future for how he will lay down boundaries with her. His mom, his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say this pretty often. Like, wouldn't you, like if it was my mother, I'd be saying something.
Ooh. What was your husband take on all of this nonsense? She said he doesn't like fighting with her because she'll turn his whole family against him.
Then that's the price you pay for sticking up for your wife. This
happened when he disagreed with her once. Are you or your husband aware that this is very much a form of emotional abuse?
Yeah.
It might seem easier to let yourself be manipulated in the short term, but long term, it can have deep repercussions on your mental health. I would seriously consider going low or no contact with her and any family members who agree with her.
Yeah.
Oh, and the girls, really? I thought this was just anyway. Whoa, they don't have kids. It get worse with kids, honey.
Oh gosh. Exactly
Set those boundaries now. Let them be mad at you now. If she comes over just to see her son, if you have a kid, she is not leaving.
No.
She will not leave. And you will fool yourself to think that you need the help. Girl, no. Your marriage will be in jeopardy. You got to set some boundaries. Your husband needs to set some boundaries. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's a good thing that you're hated now. You set the boundaries with your husband and they'll blame you anyway. It doesn't matter. Exactly. I got blamed for something in his family. I don't even care. I had nothing to do with it, but I knew I was getting blamed. And I told him, here's the proof. Oh, they don't want to talk to me? I'm good. I don't care.
Yep.
Anyways, that's it for today's episode of Am I the A-hole? We got you 2 stories today. I love doing this. Oh, God. Someone, can you pay us to do this forever? Thank you. But anyways, if you're watching us on YouTube, I hope you hit that subscribe button. If you're on Apple, if you're on Spotify, subscribe and follow. Send us a review. And of course, follow us on Work Pretty Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
Guys.
Bye. Remember, you're the heartbeat of our podcast. Your support, your comments, and your enthusiasm keeps us fired up and ready to bring you more pop culture goodness each week. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of action. We'd love to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and even your own pop culture discoveries.
Connect with us on social media at Woken Pretty Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.